We've all had times where something didn't work out. We didn't get the promotion, the loan didn't go through, a relationship didn't make it. We did our best, we prayed, we believed, but the door didn't open.
When someone closes a door in your face, all you have to remember is when God allows them to close the door in your face, all God wants you to do is walk up the hall. It's some more doors. You just got to walk up the hall.
And the scripture says, God opens doors that no man can shut, and he shuts doors that no man can open. People can't keep you from your purpose.
Because I can promise you, he got a better door that he wants you to go through than the one that got shut in your face. That's a fact. But what happened to people is they stand there beating on the door. Please open it back up. Help me. My family. Stop. These people that close doors in your face, they ain't the only door. God is the creator of all doors, man. The door is closed for a reason.
When it's your time, God is going to open a door that will thrust you ahead. You're going to look back and say, what I thought was a closed door was really an opportunity for God to show out in my life. I thought it was setting me back, but really it was setting me up to go further than I thought possible.
I'm going to curse the door on you going back. The people who used to help you will not help you. The people who used to be there wouldn't be there. I'm going to shut the door on you going back to being who you were. And you're going to have to grow up and go forward because I have shut the door on going back. I don't know who I'm preaching to, but I'm talking to somebody. When God really has interest in you, he will shut the door on going back. Oh God, I got to stop and take a minute and forget about you. Because when I start thinking about shut doors, I have to praise him for all the doors that he shut in my life. Thank you for the friends that rejected me. Thank you for the people that said no. If I'd have stopped there, I would have missed my destiny. But every time you wanted to shut a door, it was because you had something better for me. If you understand what I'm saying, give God a praise right now.
Now, people may have closed the door, tried to keep you from promotion. Forces of darkness may have locked the door, tried to keep you from your healing, from your freedom. You need to get your fire back. Closed doors can't stop you. Every circumstance says it's too late. That door is locked. It's never going to open. You need to get ready. God is about to show out in your life. One touch of his favor, one contract, one healing, meeting one right person will catapult you to a new level. You may feel like you're behind a closed door in your health, in your career. You're working hard but not getting ahead. Stay encouraged. Those closed doors are not permanent. People don't control your doors. Fear, addiction, depression don't control your doors. You're about to see some doors that have been closed for a long time suddenly open. Suddenly your health improves. Suddenly you meet the right person. What happened? The doorkeeper stepped in. Get ready for some open doors. Even when we let fear, insecurity, intimidation cause us to shrink back, God says, that's no problem for me. Depression can't stop what I have for you. Limited thinking can't hold me back. You may have locked the door, but it's the right time. God is going to come through the door. He's not going to let you miss your destiny. Like me, you may have locked some doors because of fear or because of mistakes you've made. Things haven't worked out. Now you've gone years with that door locked, thinking it could never happen. No, your time is coming. The fear may not totally go away, but you're going to feel a boldness rising up. That's the Most High God breathing in your direction. Those doors you locked didn't stop your destiny. God is not going to let fear hold you back. He's not going to let how you were raised, what you didn't get, to keep you from becoming who you were created to be. God sees potential in you. He sees seeds of greatness that you may not be able to see in yourself. Don't shrink back. You are well able. You thought you would always be single. You've already shut that door, convinced yourself you'll never meet anyone. God is going to come through the door and bring someone better than you've ever dreamed. You may think you're too old to accomplish your dream. Can I tell you, it's on the way. You think it's too late to start your business. It's on the way. Last time you tried, it didn't work out. It's on the way. You may be in a situation where you don't see a way out. In your health, your career, a relationship, it's because the door is not there yet. God is not finished. They're already on your plans. And at the right time, suddenly things shift in your favor. Suddenly the opposition goes away. And when you don't see a way, instead of being discouraged, you need to remind yourself, no person can stop your destiny.
There were behaviors and thoughts you've had in the past that were needed to produce the results you currently have. But you need to stop what's no longer needed. Maybe you're continuing a thought or a worry that at one time was needed, but no longer is. It could be something to protect yourself from fear, to protect yourself from harm. But if we're not conscious of dropping a thought or a behavior that's no longer needed, we take old thoughts, old version of ourselves into trying to become the new version of ourselves. If you're stuck in a story. There's a story you're telling yourself that doesn't serve you anymore. But what you need to do is you need to alter your associations. You need to do something in a short window of time. You definitely need to evaluate what is no longer needed. There's all kinds of stories we tell ourselves that don't serve us anymore. Maybe it's a story about your past, a story about your parents, a story about a success you used to have. You keep talking about, if I can be real with you, whatever you've achieved up to this point, that story you keep talking about, every second you spend in that old story about what you've achieved, your degree, every time you live in that story, you're stripping time and focus from the new story. You can't have a new identity without a new story. What's the old story you keep repeating? Maybe it's not a success. Maybe it's a failure that you've had, a mistake you made. And you're repeating this story to yourself, simultaneously trying to create a new identity. One of the things we have to do to create a new identity is to begin to tell a new story. Who are you now? What are you all about now? Where are you going now? See, here's what's amazing. At any point in your life, you can just decide to write a new script. The leading character in the story of your life is you. And guess what? You and God control the script. Listen to me. At any time you want, you can simply decide to be a new character. Stop telling the old story. Here's the truth. Nobody cares. No one cares if you've had a setback. No one cares if you had a victory. And that old character you keep playing is the very thing that will prevent you from becoming this new version of you. Now, there's a lot of little mini things in life that matter. There's never one thing. If you said, what's the key? I can tell you, it's my addiction and my obsession to working on my identity. Just being aware of the concept, just awareness of the power of identity puts you in the 0.1% of all the people on the spinning earth right now. I don't like telling the old story. I'm constantly trying to write the new script, become the new character in my life. I'm constantly obsessed with writing the next chapter of my life, not reading the previous ones.
This one I've been working on all these years, and I'm certainly not finished. I guess it is a lifetime project, seeing what you can become. Personal development is truly the key to the good life. You see, what you become is far more important than what you get. The most important question to ask on the job is not, what am I getting? The most important question is, what am I becoming? However, it is also true that what you become directly influences what you get. Most of what we have attracted by the person we have become. So here's the great challenge of life. You can have more than you've got because you can become more than you are. That is the great focus of attention for life change. Now, on the other side of the coin, it reads, unless you change how you are, you'll always have what you've got. I've discovered that income does not usually exceed personal development. Sometimes income takes a lucky jump, but unless you keep growing out where it is, it will usually come back where you are. If someone hands you $1 million, best you become a millionaire quickly so you can keep the money. Life has strange ways. A very rich man once said, if you took all the money in the world and divided it equally among everybody, it would soon all be back in the same pocket. I guess it is hard to keep what you haven't attracted by your own personal development. Personal development, how important. Remember, the major key to your better future is you. That's a sentence with a lot of value. I suggest you put it up somewhere for a while where you can see it every day, just to remind you as you put your day together. I call it the silent seminar. The major key to your better future is you. For a share of my life, I didn't understand the importance of that phrase. Among a lot of things I didn't understand back in those early days. Back then, some things used to puzzle me. I used to wonder why two people could work for the same company and one make twice as much money. Why would one person be paid $2,000 a month and the other person $4,000 if it was the same company, same product, same service, same training, same weather, same traffic? Maybe they were the same age and went to the same school. Wouldn't that be a puzzle? Why would one person do twice as well? Speaking economically, I know there are many ways to do well, but in this narrow area called compensation, what is the difference? What is the difference between $2,000 and $4,000 a month? And I don't mean 2,000. I could figure that out. Well, back then I tried to figure it out best I could. I thought time makes some of the difference. Some people do better because they have more time. I used to say, Harold ought to do well. He's got a lot of time. If I had all of Harold's time, I could do well. Now, that's got to be dumb, right? You can't get someone else's time. A man once said to me, if I had some extra time, I could make some extra money. I said, then you have to forget it. There isn't any more time. Where would you find any? Hey, when the clock strikes 12 midnight, that's about it. It's over. There isn't any more time. If you insist on finding more than 24 hours a day, they will come and take you away. So if we can't get more time, what could we get that would make the difference in economic result? And the answer is value. Value makes the difference. You can't get more time, but you can become more valuable. So value makes a major difference in how much money you earn.
The fact that they don't see the dream, the fact that they don't see what you can be, has nothing to do with what God can do. Nothing at all. I don't care who you are, go cut your TV on. You cut your TV on 7 days. That little black boy with the stuttering problem, he all over that TV. That little black boy messed around and became TV star. She didn't see. How many times have you shared a dream with somebody and they didn't see it? See, that's why the Bible says a man without a dream or vision shall perish. Because you can't make it without dreams and vision. If you in this room and you on a team, you know why Wayne is so successful? You know why? Because he set goals. I bet you he got a target for what he's shooting at. He got a vision of where he's shooting at. When he won Team Member of the Year the first year, I bet he said, I'm gonna do it again next year. I bet he did. Because guess what? If you see it, you can achieve it. If you don't have vision, you can't make it in this world. I don't care if you got on a lime green shirt. I don't care if you got on a black suit, white t-shirt, or a pimpin' gold mohair. Yeah. Without dreams and visions, you can't make it. I'm going to give you 2 scripts that changed my life. Now, I told you, I'm going to motivate you, but I can't without faith. I'm a grown man. I got it. I wish I knew what I knew back then. Who's the lady, beautiful sister that's in the middle? That's the writer. Novia? That's a bad girl. What's her name? Novia? This a bad sister right here. She was interviewing me today. I took extra time with her interview. You know why? And I hugged after the interview. I've been interviewing for 30 years. She said, thank you for your time, Mr. Harvey. I said, you know why I took so much time? Because you care. She she asked me stuff that was rich, real questions. Why? Why did you feel this way? Why did you do? I want Jamaica to know who you are. That sister right there was rich. But she doing her gift. She probably been writing and talking to people her whole life. Now all of a sudden, she interviewing Steve Harvey. Now I ain't saying I'm all that, but the Bible said, the whole scripture says your gift will make room for you and put you in the presence of great men. I'm gonna give you something that changed my life. A very short script changed my life. I just found this year.
He said, my thoughts are above your thoughts, my ways above your ways, as high as the heavens are above the earth. That's the gulf that exists between me and you. You can't work your way up to me. You can't earn your way up to me. You can't be good enough to get up to me. Never the twain shall meet. We are far apart. It is not where the slave works his way up to the master. It is where the master comes down and gifts the slave. It was not where I came up to God. The story is that God came down to me, and the slave has been gifted. Say this with me. I am gifted. That means that's not bragging. See, y'all are scared to say it because you don't want to sound like you're arrogant or proud or anything. You want to always appear to be humble at all times, particularly when you're around other Christians, because you are evaluated on a scorecard based on how humble you act. But tonight, just because Bishop Jakes is up here and you got to put up with me for about 30 more minutes, just go ahead and say, I am gifted. I am fearfully and marvelously made. There's all kinds of stuff in me. There's all kinds of talent. There's all kinds of creative ability that I didn't learn in school. There's stuff that you can do that you don't even know how you can do it. You just can do it. You have just been gifted. You are so gifted that whoever gets you gets a gift. You are an asset and not a liability. You are the head and not the tail. You are above and not beneath. You got some good stuff. Somebody shout, I am gifted. I have been gifted. There's some things that you can do that you don't even know how you can do it. You can just do it. I mean, little simple things. It doesn't have to be big things like cook or dress or build or design or create. And you just got a knack for something. You don't even know where you got it from. God, in his infinite wisdom, just came down and gifted you. Yes, sir, buddy. Yes, sir, buddy. If you don't understand what you have, you don't understand how to keep it, you don't understand how to value it, and you can't understand when you lose it. You have to understand that you are a gift. And whenever you come in the room, the only thing that doesn't add to the sum total of a number is a zero. And if you are not a zero, you are an addition. Shout, I am gifted. And the master gave to the slave. The slave is the recipient of something that breaks the social order of his day. The talents, in this case really money, it has been given to him, just given to him. That's a crazy story. Let me tell you something. My ancestors were slaves. And let me tell you something. My great-great-grandmother was a slave, and I remember her. I met her. And let me tell you something. Masters don't go out in the field and give slaves no money or anything else. But God uses this illustration to say, that's what I have done to you. I have gifted every single solitary person in this room has been gifted. And in fact, I want all the gifted people to give God a praise. That's how you acknowledge that you know that you have been gifted. You don't sit there with your legs crossed looking all cute and trying to be humble and not acknowledge that you received a gift. I hate to give people gifts that don't act like it's a big deal when I give you a gift. When I give you a gift, I want a reaction. I want you to shout or cry or holler or something. Come on. You know what I thought to myself? I thought I would hate to live and die and never know what would happen if I ever committed myself to anything. Some people have never thrown their whole self at nothing. Not at school, not at work, not at marriage. Oh my God, you've had 1 foot in and 1 foot out of every dream all of your life, and you've never seen what you could be if you ever really connected and threw everything. And that's what's going to make your death so sad. That's what's going to make it so sad, is that you never lived first. You never fully engaged. You never fully studied. You never fully invested in anything or anybody. You want to get something that you are not willing to give. You have never been joined. You just wore the dress, got the plaque, they threw the rice, you took the job, but you've never seen what you could be if you threw your whole self at your dream. Reciprocity. What do you give back for what you get? Without reciprocity, no relationship will ever reach its apex, because you're not fully invested in anything you do, and you're getting older, and you're running out of time and running out of excuses and running out of people to blame. Wonder what would have happened in school if you'd been committed. Wonder what would have happened in your marriage if you'd been committed. If you'd have really thrown your whole self. You've always been casual and never been committed. Your life is a false advertisement. Your whole life is a facade. The whole thing is a fake. The whole thing is a front. Your whole life is a camouflage suit. And now you're getting older, and you'll never get to see what you could have been, because the cost of getting to see it is a commitment that you've never been willing to pay. You're trying to get somebody to fall in love with a you that you've never discovered yourself. You come to the altar and you raise your hands and you say, Lord, I give myself to you, but you don't. You marry somebody and say, you can count on me, I'll be there through the thick and the thin, for better, for worse, for richer, and poor, and sickness and health. You didn't mean it. Half studied, half worked, half labored, and then wonder why I thought I'd be further than I am at the age. Let me tell you why you are not further. It is not the devil, it is not witches, it is not demons, and it's sure God ain't haters. You are not any further than where you are right now, because you have never thrown your whole self at anything in your life. And you think greatness goes on sale, but true quality never goes on sale. Greatness costs what it costs.
Decide that you're going to become the active force in your life. Decide that you're not going to go through life feeling like a victim. Decide that when things become challenging, and they are, that you're not going to personalize it, that you're going to look at it and you do whatever you must do in order to work things out and learn from it. Learn from it. That's the key.
Promise yourself you'll read the books until your skills change. You'll go to seminars until you get a handle on it. You'll listen to it until it makes sense. You'll go for it until you understand it. You'll practice it until you develop the skill. Never give up until, however long that is, step by step, piece by piece, book by book, word by word, apple by apple. Walk around the block, walk around the block. Go for it. Don't miss the chance to grow. And resolve that you'll pay the price until you learn, change, grow, become. Then you'll discover some of life's best treasures when you pay that price.
In life, you will always be faced with a series of God-ordained opportunities, brilliantly disguised as problems and challenges. If you've lost your job, don't say that I've been laid off. Just say I've been given an opportunity by the universe to find my life work. Now you're taking it from a different perspective. Now you become an active force in your life. Now you are the one, rather than running from things as they begin to change, you become a change driver. because you know that you've got the power within you to make the difference. This force, this power, this energy that you have, that's more powerful than anything that can ever happen to you. You're more powerful than your circumstances or anything that you can experience right now. Decide that you're going to commit yourself to act on your ideas, to become happy. Commit yourself to live your dream. Commit yourself to become the architect of your future. And it really, as you begin to operate out of this consciousness, you begin to experience a different level of living in terms of commitment. He says, until one is committed, there is hesitancy, the chance to draw back, always ineffectiveness. See, until you are willing to jump out there. Somebody asked me, how do I do that? I said, no. You don't need any answers now. You need to make the commitment. Once you make a commitment, then life will give you some answers. You can't decide just going to sit on the side of the pool and just stick your toe in. No, you've got to be willing to make the leap. Most people don't want to do that. They want to sit on the side and say, Tim, is it cold out there? Is it rough out there? Come on out and see. See, no, you want to decide to make that commitment, because then that's when you become involved in the learning process. There's one elementary truth, the ignorance of which kills countless ideas and splendid plans, that the moment one commits oneself, then providence moves too. All sorts of things occur to help one that would never have otherwise occurred. Whatever you can do or dream you can do, begin it. Boldness has genius, power, magic in it. Begin it now. I read a book by Dr. Johnny Coleman that says, it works if you work it. And as you begin to look at your life, decide that you're going to start working on that dream. You're going to work and nurture that idea. Now, there will be people that will criticize you. There will be people that won't see it for you. But I say to you, don't let them turn you around. Don't let nobody turn you around. Because people will try and turn you around. Hello? People will try and turn you around. But when I heard Bob Mays out of Chicago sing that song, don't let nobody turn you around, that's real. Because that's why most people don't act on their dreams and ideas. That's why most people, when I'm talking with kids that are in institutions, and I said, what happened? Why did you give up working hard and making good grades? Well, they started teasing me. And they allowed that peer pressure to cause them to scale down their dreams and their ambitions. They started following the crowd. That's why many people don't do the things they want to do. A friend of mine, he wanted to become an actor all his life. He let someone convince him, you can't become an actor. You go out to Hollywood, they'll swallow you up. It's too competitive. Thousands of unemployed people out there. But then another friend of mine, Sheila Hall, and she decided at age 42, I'm going to live my dream. My son graduated from high school. She decided to make the plunge, to go to Hollywood. Quiet person, never had any experience in the area, and because she decided to make the commitment, she is now working on a one-woman show, and she's been getting support from everywhere because she was willing to make the commitment. This other guy is far more talented and skillful, but he wasn't willing to make the commitment, so he goes to work every day to a job that's making him sick because he doesn't have the guts or the boldness to stand up in life and say, I'm going to live my dream. I'm going to commit myself to live out what's in me. I heard Dr. Johnny Youngblood say, I must live what's in me. I said, why do you do this? He said, I got to do it. I got to do it. I'm saying, find something in your life that you say, hey, it might not work out, but I got to do this. Why? Hey, it's the one thing I love. It's my peace. It's my thing. You don't understand it? It's all right.
You better be committed or you ain't gonna make it. If you're not committed, you're not gonna make it. You have to be committed. Through the storm and the rain and the heartache and the pain and the disappointment, you have to believe in the we and the us and not the me and the you, or you're not gonna make it. It's a commitment. It's not a feeling. Y'all don't want to hear real truth. You want to hear fairy tale Hollywood shake and bake stuff, but in reality, it's a commitment.
The confident to do what they want to do, to sometimes do what they should. And so they come to me and they ask me, how do I become a more confident person? And I would like to share with you quickly 3 ways that you could begin to build into your self-confidence that will allow you to go to a level that a lack of confidence will hold you back and keep. The first thing I would share with you, that if you want to be a confident person, you have to take action. Confidence is a result of something. And so many times people cheat themselves because they lack that confidence, so they don't do what they should do, only to leave saying, I wish I would have done that. I can remember when I was in my 20s, I went to a meeting with leaders that were older than I, wiser, bigger, better, faster. What was I, 27? They probably averaged 45, 50. And I was overwhelmed by the fact that I was truly, not trying to be humble, I was truly the least in the room. And I could have learned so much from them. And in fact, they gave times for us to ask questions, and I held back. And I didn't ask questions, and I left that meeting, and I really realized how I cheated myself. And I determined that I would never let that happen again. Now, why didn't I ask the question? Because I lacked the confidence. I thought, well, it's probably a silly question to them. They probably answered that question 1,000 times. They'll look at me and say, wow, he doesn't like. And I determined that day that regardless of how intimidated I was going to become, I was never going to cheat myself, and that I was always going to ask the question, even though I figured it may be a real. What was I doing with my confidence? I was making a determination to take action on something that I didn't feel comfortable. And trust me, I did. I never broke that promise to myself, and today I can look back at many times where I just went ahead and did it. I didn't feel comfortable, but I went ahead and did it. And each time I took action, it began to give confidence. The second thing that I have done to build my confidence is to share with others and help them. One of the things I found is that you begin to feel better about yourself when you help other people get better. And so therefore, there's a confidence booster in making yourself invaluable to others because you're always adding value to them. And so I grew my confidence not only in taking actions on things that I perhaps was intimidated with, but I, quote, did it anyway. I grew my confidence by the fact that I began to meet people's needs. And because I met their needs, I began to be valued, and I began to have influence with those people, and all of that process helped me to become a more confident person. The third thing that I did is I spent time with confident people. There's no security like being people. You know it. You know it when you're with them. You know it when you're not with them. You can feel it in the room. A lot of my leadership has been based on the fact that I provide a lot of secure people. They just know. If they hook up with me, if they read my book, if they kind of follow me, if they listen to my lesson, they're going to get better. And that security helps them to become more secure and confident themselves. That's exactly what I did as a young leader. I found people that were confident, and I hung with them. I watched them. I asked them questions. I learned from them. But more than anything else, I immersed myself in the environment of a confident person.
We experience whatever we focus on. So if you're focusing on how things won't work, you're going to feel the pain that you associate to that. You're going to create a tremendous amount of doubt, and then it usually becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. You don't get what you want. Let me give you a kind of a simple example. I'd like you to try something. Please listen and please do this. What I want you to do is think of something you really want to have happen in your future. Something you like to have or do or be. And what I'd like you to do is hope that you'll get this to happen in your life. Okay, try it. Think of something you really want in your life, something you really want to have happen, and hope it'll happen. Notice how it feels when you hope it'll happen. You may even notice what you say to yourself when you hope something will happen. Now what I want you to do is get out of that state. Completely get out of that state for a second. And now let's have you think about the same thing you want to have happen in your life, but this time I want you to expect that it will happen. Absolutely, totally expect it. Know it, okay? And when you know it's going to happen, I want you to notice what happens to the pictures in your mind as you think about it. What's different? I want you to notice the difference in your body. Absolutely expect it will happen. You expect this will occur. You absolutely know it. Now, I got a question for you. Is there a difference in how you feel in your body, first of all? And I think you'll find the answer is yes. In addition, is there a difference in even how you visualize these two things in your mind? There are several distinctions that I make usually with confidence.
An essential part of awakening spiritually is going beyond a conceptualized sense of self and living in a conceptual reality. And of course, all that implies being identified with thinking, because concepts are thoughts. So for many people the question arises, how do I see myself? And there's a very common problem people have, and that's called self-esteem. What value do I have? What value does my life have compared to others? Some years ago, the Dalai Lama was asked by somebody about self-esteem, and he didn't understand the word self-esteem. And the interpreter, spent several minutes trying to explain to him the meaning of self-esteem, and he just couldn't get it. Now, of course, you might say, well, if I were the Dalai Lama, I wouldn't have a problem with self-esteem either. But that's not it. Self-esteem, in the way in which it's conventionally used, is comparative, and it's always connected to ego. How do I rate myself relative to others, either in achievement, worldly achievement, abilities, knowledge, physical appearance, physical strength, good looks, bad looks, fat, thin, and usually it's related to what you have, possessions, what you can do, abilities, what you know, knowledge, and physical appearance. And that's an interesting thing when you look at your life from that point of view. There's always a sense of unease, because there are always others who are better at least some of these than you are, and then there are others who are worse. I would suggest that the only healthy self-esteem is a self-esteem that is derived from a deeper place than any of those things that usually make up a person's self-esteem.